Hello traders, welcome to today's video. Bitcoin has pumped like crazy overnight, which is very good if you're a Bitcoin holder, not so good if you have been holding any short positions. So first of all, let's address the elephant in the room, the first loss of the year here on Bitcoin for myself. So on the charts, you can see these are all the trades that I have basically publicly called, spoken about within the trading rooms and on videos and live streams. So we have all of these trades here. I've taken other little scalps and things in between, and I'm also still in a swing long position from the low, which is just like a position trade that I'm just riding up as high as it wants to take it at this stage. However, yesterday took my first loss. So I do want to cover that because I did a tweet this morning. I do not consider that, although I'm saying it's the first loss, it's the first trade that has been invalidated. I do not consider it to be a losing trade because you will either win your trade and you'll learn nothing because of it and you're just in the flow and you're winning your trades and you're making money, or a trade will get stopped out, will get invalidated, you'll lose a bit of money on that, and that is when you learn. And that's massively important because for me, I don't learn shit unless I'm losing, because how can you take any lessons on a winning trade? Well, actually that's a lie, because you can always trade better, and I'm going to go over why I could have traded a lot of this stuff better in this video. But it's always the losers are the best opportunities to learn, because they are the ones that hurt you, and they are the ones that don't go according to plan. So obviously, why did they not go according to plan? What could you have done better, and all of that? So yeah, we are going to cover that this morning. So what we're going to start with was basically, let's just do the trade itself. Okay, so the trade idea was there. Okay, the trade idea was there. It was a good idea. It wasn't a bad trade, in my opinion, and it wasn't a one that was just poorly thought out. And I think that's very important. The trade got invalidated, but it wasn't a bad trade. It wasn't a wrong trade. It just got stopped. So the idea was basically from, okay, we were looking at our previous range low. We were looking to continue to trade the range, and this looked a little precarious. Okay, you staircase up and you quite often elevator down. And we had the idea that obviously with CPI coming in today, that could be the opportunity when we were within this range that we could spike up, take the highs and dump. Now that was the clear idea, the thought process behind it. We had it statistically backed up. Okay, we have confluence down here at 16,800, 16,900. We had the previous week point of control down there, which Bitcoin hasn't left behind since the FTX crash, and only in the last 6 months has it done it twice. Okay, so we had a very high probability that price would come down here, but obviously now that is not going to happen. So we are going to leave behind an MPOC. That becomes one of the other occasions, and you add that to the stats, and maybe in the future, if you're starting to look at more of a trending market, things are going to turn. Like I said previously, we had quite a small sample size for this, but in recent history, with the way that Bitcoin has been moving over the last few quarters, really, or basically the last year, it's been very chill. Like most of the price action has been very chill. And these are the kind of setups that often do play out. And every time we've had an impulse, it's been down. We've never really had an impulse like this, or we haven't for a long time had an impulse like this that has been up. So that is very, very important to note here. The other thing is, for myself, the mistakes that I made was this was a plan that I had back before Christmas. Okay, the way that the market was before Christmas, thinking, okay, low volume, if we get a rise, we can look for a fall. But we're in January now, everyone's coming back to their desks, everyone's starting to trade. You're getting a lot of people that maybe feel like they've missed the bottom and they're trying to short on the way up. And Bitcoin, these trends can keep on going long after you've become insolvent. And this is one of those big things. We were in a parabolic move. It was increasing in speed. It was increasing in velocity to the upside. And eventually, okay, you just continue to form this uptrend up here and it breaks through. So yeah, really important to understand that it's dangerous. You can do it, but it is dangerous to fight against the trend, even if you have a clear idea in mind. Now, I've taken short positions within this trend. You can see a couple here that we've taken previously, but the bias has always been for these longs that we've had in between, because we were looking up to 17,600 as the target for basically every single one of these. And if I'd just gone long, compound my long, compound my long, and then eventually just taken profit on each of these occasions and let this ride, then that would have been great. Like I say, I do have a swing long position, but it's more of just a gradually kind of moving in to a long within the whole range that we've been having down here anyway. It's not like a technical trade as such. It's just, okay, I want to be in a long. The funding is kind of on my side. I'm not having to pay extortionate amounts in funding, and we're just seeing how high that can take us at this stage. So the trade itself, okay, so what happened when we came up into this? And again, another lesson that can be learned. I'll just go back. The reason why, or the lessons that we can learn from this trade being invalidated is, like I say, this was an idea for a calm market, a rational market, one that's not really seeing a lot of volume. Sorry. But as the volume starts to come back in to the market, then this is when you can start to impulse. And what we were seeing over the past few days was literally everyone had started to spot this level. Everyone had started talking about 17,600. And in hindsight, you probably don't want to be doing what everyone else is doing. Sometimes they will get it right. More often than not, sorry, my phone, someone silent, mute. More often than not, if everyone is looking at the same thing, it's just not going to work, is it? So, yeah, clearly it hasn't on this occasion. So I did take the short position. I had some limit orders placed within this gray box here. This was where I wanted to take the trade. And I had my invalidation. Now it hit my alerts, and then we came up to within this range. So I actually ended up closing out of this trade around about this daily level when it started to become clear to me that we're going to get a daily close above. And I just really don't want to be one of those. I want to be like the first out. So when a trade is invalidated, I want to be the first out. So this here would have been a 1R loss, but for me, myself, it ended up around about a 1.45. So I made a slightly bigger loss than I would have liked. Which again, risk management, a hard stop loss on something like this when you're looking at the potential for it to be impulsive and quite violent, especially the time of the night that it happened, may have been a better thing. But overall, having these soft stop losses have saved me on many occasions from being stopped out. So it swings and roundabouts, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's never a perfect method. So yeah, that is the trade stopped, fine. But what we did afterwards was, as soon as we saw this, and as soon as this has happened, as soon as this impulse happened, myself, Luxury, jumped into voice chat. I was in bed. I literally like I'm going to get an early night because I wanted to get up early this morning and do a run. And my alerts woke me up. And at that point, I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to close out of this because I don't know what's going to happen. But then, because I'm so obsessed with trading and the charts, I joined in on the voice chat that was ongoing in the Discord, and we were talking about this. So at this stage, we were looking at the daily open, and this had we just had the daily open, and we could see the open interest was rising. I'm not really going to go over this in too much detail, but around this range down here, we could see that we were getting a rise again in open interest on something, and that there was a lot of short positions starting to come in. Okay, so obviously a lot of shorts got closed and got stopped here, and then I think people started to get back into short positions. People started to add margin to losing trades already, and then what does that lead to? A second squeeze higher. And then once again, what do you do within this zone here? It starts to calm down. You hit their liquidations. Finally, 1, 2, 3 spikes into the highs, and then you start to correct. And we've had a nice ABCD correction from that so far. And at the moment, on its way back up, filled in some inefficiencies, actually quite nicely coming up into a little range here. And then maybe we can be looking for more downside before continuation on this. So very important lesson for anyone trading is just don't start adding margin to a losing trade. Just take the loss, okay? Especially for ourselves. Like it's easier said than done sometimes because we've been on a winning streak of 6 in a row, okay? So far, and that's just off of the ones we've been calling. There have been other trades, there have been some altcoin trades, there's been a lot of really good stuff happening this year, but for the first loss, just take it, learn from it, move on, okay? There's another trade always around the corner. So anyway, now that that's covered, it was a similar situation on ETH. I did also take a trade on ETH, so I took the short just as we took the highs here. And then got stopped out of that one as well. So it's another one of those situations where we had two possible scenarios. So we'll go over Bitcoin first, and then we'll go over Ethereum. So I'm just going to move on to this because this is the higher time frame idea on Bitcoin itself. So realistically, okay, this is basically the second option. So if we don't fail at the golden pocket, for me, the next major level to the upside is 19,200. Now, once again, there's quite a lot of eyes on that level because we have a lot of confluence there. Okay, it's the 618 from your high to your low. It is the 1-to-1, which has been working really, really well across a lot of assets recently, the 1-to-1. And also you can draw a channel and get things quite nicely in there. Okay, so if we are going to see continuation, that for me would be another level to be really paying close attention to. It also takes you into, all right, zoom out further. It also takes you into the previous range point of control. All right, so big confluence at that point. This was the support. This is where we broke up from. The FTX crash tried to hold here, tried to hold a higher low, crash back through. It would make sense for price to come back to that level. However, once again, okay, it's maybe even more obvious than the what we had yesterday with that 618. Maybe. I think by the time we get there, if we get there, everyone's going to be looking at it, and it could start to become more difficult to trade again. So do be aware of it. That is the level that I am looking at next on Bitcoin. And also we do have to be aware of what we have in between. Okay, we haven't yet taken the highs. All right, we've come into this wick. Oh, we have taken the highs on spot, but actually on perps, no, we haven't. So we haven't taken the highs yet on spot. So you would expect that, I think, at the very least to happen. If it doesn't, then that's just kind of crazy, right? Okay, you just squeeze all of the short positions out, get everyone bullish again, and then dump it, which with CPI today, everyone's getting very bullish into CPI. We knew this would be a big thing. It can just come crashing back down again, and then everyone who has been stopped, like myself, will be kicking themselves because they'll be like, oh, should have just shorted up higher. But that's trading, and there's always a shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of thing when it comes to trading. So don't beat yourself up if you've taken a loss. Take it graciously, learn from it, and there's always another opportunity. So yeah, going on to CPI, we do have CPI today. I will do a stream later on when that happens, and we will cover that. But like I said on the stream the other day, I think if we were to get an impulse situation during CPI, I think we may be in for a bit more of a boring day today. It was either going to be like the market's just going to completely take everyone by surprise, and in crypto, expect the unexpected, like always. we should know that enough by now. Always expect the unexpected. But today, everyone's expecting a big move. We've already had the big move that people weren't expecting. We were thinking, okay, cool, we're going to chill until CPI, and then we'll see what happens. It hasn't worked out that way, has it? So yeah, again, lessons to be learned. Expect the unexpected always, and don't get too attached to a certain idea because you'll just end up making a loss. On Ethereum, okay, back to the TA on this. So we had the supply at the highs. All right, we'd taken the highs previously, crashed. So there was an opportunity there that we could do the same again. And realistically, I wasn't looking for anything big. I just would have liked to have seen an SFP come back into the range, and then we could either do this on the CPI or do this as we get everything today. But the market went early. It took the opportunity to go early. Low volume, low liquidity. A lot of people closing out of positions because they're aware that there's a news event the following day. And we are coming up once again into a very, very important level here. So this is the 618, same as Bitcoin. It is the 1-to-1, same as Bitcoin. It is the channel, same as Bitcoin, okay? So, oh, and also this is the volume from the FTX crash. So I think at this point here, we've got a POC. Okay, so we do have an MPOC coming in around here. I don't have that on my charts. I think it's a session MPOC. So I'd have to scroll back a long way, but there is something else there. That's why I label it, and I'll have to remember exactly what that is later. We have covered it in the trading room, so I'm sure people within the crew will be able to know what that is. And then really to the downside, it does lead us with those same targets. Okay, if price comes up here and you're looking at a macro high being put in, then we do. This no longer is the 786 of this small move, which it could have been, okay, from a well, it is the 786 of the small move, and it's also the 618 of the entire like uptrend that we've been in for a while. So if we are to start to pull back again, then yeah, there's your target. Okay, it's there. Now there's obviously going to be other stuff in between, but at this stage, okay, we are back above. So you can split this range up a little bit, where you have your bottom portion of the range here and here. You got this little mid section, and then you've got the upper portion. And if we can start to hold, then that does lead us towards a move back up. I mean, considerably up here, like 1,800 maybe on ETH, if it can get that continuation. It's a similar situation, okay, if we do go back over onto Bitcoin, where we're back in within the old range. Okay, so if we do hold within the old range, which it failed to do last time, it just basically just dropped back down, all the way back down to the lows again, but made a higher low. So on this occasion, if it can hold a high, then we're looking up towards that 1-to-1. And ultimately, our next liquidity is up around about like that 21,600. So 19,002, 21,006, important levels to be aware of. But there's going to be so much stuff we can trade in between. A couple of other things just to quickly go over. This is working really nicely with the legacy markets. So we are getting that move up towards the target on the legacy markets. Bitcoin obviously much more impulsive. But we are seeing that move up to 4K now on the S&P, and that is what I would like to see happen. So can we get that? Obviously, Bitcoin has like exceeded expectations in this regard, but everything else is still doing more or less what we thought it would be. So we were looking for the move up towards 4,000 on the S&P, on the ES. And also the DXY, making one more low, coming down to 102.5 before getting a rally. Okay, and it is starting to roll over here. So I'm going to set my alerts. I'm going to set my alerts just at the top of this and see if we can get that move in to that 102.5 before we do get the rally on here. A couple of altcoins that I just want to go over. So I'm going to go over Gala. We were looking at Gala in the trading room, and I actually did take a trade on this as we had an SFP off of the lows. Now this again was one that was late at night. I was just like, oh cool, hit alerts, took out some lows. I'm going to go for it, and we managed to get that trade. I closed out of it really early. I closed out of it just after we took the highs here. But we were looking at the opportunity for this to basically go down, break market structure, make a higher low and bounce. But it ended up taking the lows. I missed this and then had alerts lower, got into it, and then what we've done, we had the take profit levels around here at that POC, which was the golden pocket from basically this whole move here. But then when you're looking on the higher time frames, you can see right now we've gone up, straight up into the value area high, into the 618, come back down into the value area low and the 618, and I would expect this to probably consolidate around about that POC once again. And we'll see. Can something like Gala, which has been pumping like crazy, maintain that bullish momentum, hold the POC and go for another high? It's very much possible in this market. We've seen, like I say, these trends can continue on for much longer than you think they can. So alternatively, we come back up, we roll over, and then you're looking at a big move down to what, like 0.025 or whatever, 0.024 kind of thing. But a nice little range to trade, okay? With the value area, with the fibs working quite well on this. The other thing that I spoke about yesterday as well, PHB. So I've been doing some research into, this isn't the one. It's not that red pulse thing. Is it PHB or PBH? It is PHB. Oh, it is this one. Yeah, so I was looking into AI and the AI based run that we were on. And I was seeing that this was having a nice, basically big markup in price. And we were looking at this. You used to call this like an ICO reversal. It would have the big dump, and then it would pump basically. And I was just watching this yesterday, and it was just creeping up and came down and took some lows. And I was like, this thing could just go a little bit mad. So I did a tweet. I'll find the tweet. Let me just bring it up on here. Also, if you are new to the channel, please do go check out tauruscrypto.com, as we are bringing up the website and the internet. Then please do go check that out, and you can learn more about our community over there. But yeah, this was what I had basically spoken about yesterday. PHB. One to watch for the AI related alt run. New token had its accumulation set for a markup. So that was something I was thinking. I don't really know what it is exactly. I've just seen a lot of people talking about it. I was like, okay, this looks cool. They're working with AI. That's a bit of a hypey thing at the moment with ChatGPT and whatever the other apps and all of that kind of thing are. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna put it out there. And then yeah, it just had a 50% pump from when I posted it, a 55% pump. Now it's all been retraced now, but just interesting to see those kind of things play out. Obviously, I have absolutely no influence over the market. I'm just a small, silly trader person, but it was a bit of fun. Anything else we want to go over? I don't think so. I think we're pretty much done. I don't really want to wrap things up on a shitcoin though. So thoughts for the rest of the day. Downside. I think we put in a decent high, like I say, 1, 2, 3 spikes up. And if we can get a move down into the daily open, that's as low as you'd really want to see it going. Okay, if you start to get caught any lower than that, it's going to be pretty messy. But obviously we will do the live stream for CPI, so we'll do that. We'll start at 1 p.m. UTC, so just a few hours from now we'll start at 1 p.m. UTC, because then we will get the CPI announcement. I think that's correct, or am I making it up? Yes. Yes, so we do have that in like 3 hours. So in a few hours I'll do a stream, and I'll give more of my thoughts onto the market as we get that. So anyway, I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you very much for watching, and please do give the video a like. Please do subscribe if you've not done so already. Please do comment below with your thoughts. As always, I still need to do the little giveaway, so maybe maybe not today's stream, but maybe if I stream on Friday, then I'll just do a random comment picker or something, or I'll just tweet it out or whatever, and we can give away the $100 for whoever commented on the last video I made. So please do comment, because it helps the algorithm. It will help us grow as a community. It will help our information, our education, our stuff get out to more people. And yeah, have a great day. And I will see you all in a couple of hours. Cheers. Bye.